You stimulate muscle growth in the gym, but you actually build it in the kitchen. This leads us to the 50% rule. If you are training hard but ignoring your pre- and post-workout nutrition, you are operating at exactly half capacity. The problem is how the fitness industry addresses this reality. They push expensive, hyper-processed powders as the only valid way to capitalize on your metabolic windows. But look at this comparison matrix. On the left, a standard expensive supplement stack. On the right, a highly effective household stack made of staples like bananas, coffee, paneer, and chickpeas. The price difference is massive. There is a direct trade-off here. Whole foods save you money and keep you away from artificial additives, but they demand strict preparation time and precise logistics around your digestion. Today, we are going to strip away the guesswork. We are mapping exact, culturally accessible DESI whole food meals directly to specific training levels and dietary constraints. Achieving an elite physique on a tight budget is entirely possible, but you have to replace the convenience of a plastic scoop with the discipline of chrononutrition, eating the right food at exactly the right time. Let's start with your pre-workout energy load. Getting this right is a biological necessity, but getting the timing wrong will ruin your session. This diagram illustrates what happens when you eat whole foods less than 30 minutes before lifting. Instead of flowing to your skeletal muscles to aid performance, your blood pools heavily in your stomach to manage digestion. To avoid that nausea and sluggishness, you have to follow a non-negotiable rule. Give yourself a strict 40 to 60-minute lead time to clear your stomach. Now let's plot our options on this chart, measuring preparation time against performance impact. First, the beginner protocol, 2 bananas. This sits right in the bottom left because it provides a rapid glycogen spike with almost zero prep. Bananas offer low-friction energy for novices, but burn out too fast to sustain heavy loads. For longer sessions, we look to the upper right quadrant, the advanced protocol, a handful of raisins and 2 to 3 figs soaked overnight. The prep friction is high, and figs are a mild diuretic. You must commit to heavy water intake between sets. For maximum output, we put to the extreme upper right boundary, the heavy-duty protocol, 2 boiled potatoes, curd, and a bit of rice. This dense carbohydrate load provides massive lifting power, but due to its heavy gastric footprint, you absolutely must wait 60 minutes. Finally, in the bottom right quadrant, we have the stimulant protocol, black coffee paired with a banana. The caffeine drives immediate central nervous system focus for intense sessions, but you are trading that peak for a likely energy crash later in the day. These options are modular, but they aren't meant to be stacked. Mixing them randomly will overload your digestive tract. Selecting a whole food pre-workout comes down to a simple equation. Decide how much time you are willing to spend preparing, and match it to how intensely you plan to lift. Once the workout ends, your body enters a state of crisis. Your electrolytes are depleted, and your muscle fibers are physically torn. Waiting an hour to eat after this trauma effectively stalls your repair process. You are biologically sabotaging your own effort. You have a critical 30-minute window to start replenishing your system with whole foods. This chart tracks amino acid release over time. Watch this slow, gently sloping line. This represents the vegan and budget protocol, 100 grams of roasted chana or soaked peanuts. This is a highly affordable source of iron and protein, but the high fiber content delays amino acid absorption compared to liquid whey. Next, look at this long, flat curve. This is the casein protocol, 100 grams of raw, unsalted paneer. Paneer won't give you an immediate blood amino spike, but because it digests so slowly, it is exceptional for sustained overnight muscle repair while you sleep. Now look at this sharp, high dual peak line. This is the synergistic protocol, 4 boiled eggs alongside a single banana. This is the most biomechanically optimal combination of fast-digesting protein and insulin-spiking carbs you can get from whole foods, though it obviously alienates vegetarian lifters. Finally, we have the hydration protocol, 2 spoons of Glucon-D mixed in water. This drink rapidly fixes your depleted sodium and potassium levels. However, it provides 0 structural protein, meaning you still have to pair it with an actual meal to rebuild muscle. Post-workout eating is entirely about matching the digestion speed of the food on your plate to the biological urgency of your torn muscles. You do not need commercial powders to build a formidable physique, provided you respect the timing of real food. To eliminate the guesswork, this flowchart maps out a scenario-match decision tree. We've split it into 3 paths based on your lifestyle: time-poor, heavy lifter, and vegan on a budget. If you follow path 1 for the time-poor or beginner lifter, friction is your enemy. Stick to bananas before your workout and boiled eggs immediately after. Moving to path 2 for the advanced heavy lifter. You need maximum caloric density. Go with boiled potatoes and curd beforehand, and raw paneer afterward for sustained recovery. On path 3 for the strict budget or vegan lifter, you rely on black coffee for your pre-workout focus, and a solid portion of roasted chana or soaked peanuts for your post-workout protein. There is one group who should completely avoid this whole food approach: the 10-minute warning lifter. If you are eating in the car on the way to the gym, this is not for you. If your schedule simply prevents a 45-minute digestion window, you are the specific demographic who should pay the premium for liquid supplements. Trying to digest whole foods under a heavy barbell will just make you sick. For everyone else, pick your path and stick to it. Consistency with one reliable meal structure will yield far better results than obsessing over a different menu every single day. When you take ownership of your nutrition logistics, you stop relying on convenience. You empower yourself to build muscle sustainably, effectively, and entirely independent of